tons of attention. There's a new world champion leading the Denver Broncos. The Sean Payton era officially begins tonight as Denver looks to find a new peak. And how great is it that we're starting in the Valley of the Sun? Hi, everybody. I'm Scotty Gange. Thrilled to be joined alongside Mike Kliss and Ariel Orsuto, coming to you live from Glendale, Arizona, but here at State Farm Stadium. Mike, we get to play some football tonight. And you know what? With Sean Payton in town, the Broncos could have hired guys like Nick Saban. They could have brought in Vince Lombardi. They could have brought in Bill Parcells. If Russell Wilson can't figure it out, this team will not go.
It is about the quarterback.
We're going to play some football tonight. Ariel, you're going to be on the sidelines all night long. I don't think it's going to be the same old Gilligan's hat, flip-flop, sunglasses, but what can we expect to see on the broadcast tonight from you?
No, there are jobs on the line.
15 to 18 snaps for the starters. Mike, if Russell Wilson can show you one thing, what do you hope he shows tonight?
A nice intermediate pass across the middle for about 20 yards.
Maybe turn up down the sidelines for a
touchdown.
touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's part of the process. You can give a lot of encouragement to Broncos country.
Well, it's really going to be fun tonight. Get to see a whole lot of football. Russell Wilson will be on the field tonight. You know what? We're going to celebrate it for the next hour. We've got fun interviews with Vance Joseph. George Payton will join us live here in front of the $1 million grass in Arizona. Mike Kliss, Ariel Orsuto, I'm Scotty Gange. We'll be right back right here on Broncos Tonight.
Coming up on Broncos Tonight, the pregame show. He's a fan favorite in Colorado, but the only problem is he is on the Arizona Cardinals. We caught up with Fort Morgan and Colorado State legend Trey McBride as he gets ready to play against you. That's next.
Can't ask for much more, man. It's a football weather.
That guy right there is one of the very best athletes to come out of our state in the last 10 years. But there's one little problem. He's playing against the Broncos tonight. You know, Trey has such a cool sense of confidence about him. Ariel, I know you've been following him for years.
I have been, and I was actually at his draft party, too, when he was drafted by...
Should be a big year two for him, as it is for most rookies going into year two.
Absolutely. The sophomore year for Trey McBride. You know, the Broncos have a whole lot of tight ends, and growing up as kids, a whole bunch of them dream, I want to go to the NFL. I want to go to the NFL. But for one tight end of the Broncos, he didn't realize that until he was in the NFL. You know, Mike, when I shook his hand there, never in my life has someone eaten up my hand so much as Chris Manhertz. That dude is a force.
You got to shake Russell Wilson's hand, by the way. Biggest hands among quarterbacks in the NFL. But, yeah, it's interesting what you were saying there about how the power forwards in basketball but can do both pretty well.
Did it surprise you that Troutman is atop the depth chart, Mike?
Well, that's the way it was going in practice during play snaps. Might be 33, 33, 33.
Interesting. Well, we're going to get to see all three of those guys maybe having 33 snaps. You see how things work out that way, Mike?
Yeah.
Let's get to see that tonight. Hey, we'll be right back here from State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona on Broncos Tonight.
Throw a helmet on. You're going to meet the next rising star of this Broncos defense that just may surprise you. That's coming up right here on 9 News.
Bench along with Jonathan Cooper and play about 35-40% of the snaps.
Mike, how important is tonight for Nick Bonino? He's been on the Broncos. He's had all these plays and reps in practice, but a game-like atmosphere tonight for him.
Confidence. You get confidence through making plays. But Vance Joseph looks at this group and says there's talent everywhere.
I like an optimist, Mike.
Yeah, he's more optimistic than I am, which is why he's a coach. But he likes this group. I think it's a group in transition. We're used to Vaughn and Bradley Chubb. That was the essence of this pass rush group for years, even though they were never on the field together, it seemed like, because of injuries.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. But collectively, and Christopher Allen's another one you're going to see, number 45 tonight. Collectively, Vance Joseph likes the pass rush group.
And it's got to bring so much confidence not only to Vance Joseph, but everybody on the defense. We know the secondary is so great, but if you can get a strong crew up front, it's got to be a great thing for them, right?
If you don't have heat on the quarterback, your secondary is not going to be very good. I mean, you got to put heat on Patrick Mahomes if you want to stop Travis Kelce. If Mahomes has all day back there, he's going to pick that secondary apart. I don't care if they have 4 Patrick Surtains back there. You got to have heat. That's what affects quarterbacks.
You got to get some heat. We're in the heat right now here in Arizona. It's feeling great, feeling alive. We'll be right back here on Broncos Tonight for more of the fun as the Broncos get ready to play the Cardinals in the first preseason game of the year.
He became a star right here in Arizona. Now he makes his Bronco debut in his old home. Big man Zach Allen shares how he hopes to bring you and the Broncos a championship defense again. That's in 3 minutes right here on Broncos Tonight.
You think there's more all-around game with Zach Allen?
I tell you, I loved what he said about, we know it's just another preseason game, and so much talk is brought up. Hey, it's the Sean Payton, it's his first year, but now it's also Zach Allen's first year, and just in case this is the start of something awesome, it's cool that we get to catch up with him and hear from the guy.
Another really interesting thing.
They've got the young and they've got the old meshing together. You like to have that youth coming up.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's a hard thing to do that and to build a team. Coming up next, we've got somebody who may know a few things about that.
Yeah.
Coming up next, the architect of the 2023 Broncos, General Manager George Payton, is grabbing a chair and joining us on the grass. Next, right here on Broncos Tonight, the pregame show.
How lucky are we? Hi, everybody. Welcome back here to Broncos Tonight. Scotty Gange, Mike Kliss, but far more importantly, we've got George Payton, Broncos general manager, here on the show with us. George, thanks for joining us. I got to know, when you watch a game like this tonight, is it nerves, is it stress, or is it just flat out fun?
I think all three. You have the nerves, you have the anxiety, you see what you see in practice, and is that going to translate to the games? And so it's fun. I mean, this is what we do. You're always worried about, injury dynamics, if someone's going to play to their potential. But, no, we love it. We love football. We love the games, and that's what it's all about.
Well, I think the Broncos fans have loved this offseason. Maybe the biggest hiring in the entire NFL with Sean Payton coming to town. This is the first official kickoff for him. How confident are you in him leading this team right now?
Oh, real confident. Spent the last 8 months or so with Sean. We know he has a great offensive mind, but he sets the tone every day in the entire building with the staff, with the players. We all know what a great offensive mind he has, but he has unique instincts, attention to details unmatched, and he's probably the most competitive coach I've ever been around.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Coaching matters, George.
It does, Mike.
Yeah,
it certainly does.
And we're going to see it with Russell Wilson this year. I think you guys obviously made the commitment. Russ was off, however you want to assign the blame for what happened last year. But Russ is better than what he played last year, and Sean Payton is working towards bringing that old Russell Wilson back. How is that going?
I think it's been good. Russ had a really good offseason. All the quarterbacks did. It's a really good quarterback room. Ebbs and flows of training camp. Some day defense, especially early in camp, kind of had their way. Russ in the offense and the other quarterbacks kind of had the way this past week, and that's why these preseason games are so important. Feel really good about Russ.
The guys Russ is going to throw to, terrible news obviously with Tim Patrick going down and Brandon Johnson rolled up an ankle. But this wide receiver room looks to be so deep. How much fun is it for you to put that together and to see them out on the field?
We love the depth. You can't replace a Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, what they mean to the team on the field, off the field. But we do like our young depth. And again, that's what preseason's all about. You evaluate them at practice, but the games, are what it's all about.
In building a roster, you always have to somewhere take a leap of faith here and there.
Yeah.
And at the running back room is maybe one. You're taking a little leap of faith that Javante's going to be okay. Talk about.
We feel good about Javante. We feel, you see him in practice. He looks 100% to us. Samaje Perine we feel is a starter, and then we feel like we have a really good battle with the next three. With Jaleel and Ty and Batty and Jones. So feel good. We feel good about the depth, Mike, and we're always looking. We're looking. There's 31 other rosters, so we're looking at the depth at every position at the other rosters. That's what the scouts. We evaluate our team, but we're evaluating other teams as well.
What is that like to be evaluating other teams? I've got to think you sleep 5 minutes a night if you're doing that.
It's a lot of tape. It's a lot of dark rooms. It's what we do. It's what we love. Sean loves it, but he just happens to be a really good coach. But no, it's great. You're problem solving. You're looking to better your team. I think that's what we're all in it for is to do that and obviously win.
I was going to say, picking your 53, George, is it the camp practices the big part of the evaluation, or is it these 3 preseason games that
Mike,
have a bigger slice?
Mike, it's a full body of work.
Yeah.
You know, you evaluate the practices every day, how they work, how are they in the building, the day-to-day, you know, and then the games, obviously. When the lights come on, how do they perform? So full body of work. It started in the off-season program. You know, how do they work? Is it the type of player we want in the building, you know, on and off? So full body of work.
George, I'd like to offer you this moment right now to take a deep breath. I know the season starts for the players tonight, but you've been full season for the last 6 months. Now that you're here, is it nice? I mean, how does this moment feel to be right here tonight?
It feels good, but you know, tomorrow we'll have other, you know, problems to solve. You know, it's just it's another step in the process. We love the games, we love the practices, we love the process, and so it's just another step in that process.
To get the coach you wanted, to get the quarterback you wanted, you had to give up something in return, and that meant a lot of top-end draft picks. And that, in turn, you wonder about the depth. How do you think? I know you really analyze that back end of the roster like no other GM, but how about the depth on the team? Is that a concern?
Yeah. Mike, we've had 24 picks the last 3 years, 24 draft picks, you know, with giving all those picks. That was kind of the plan early on. So that, you know, we have a lot of players from those drafts. We're also very aggressive in free agency, knowing, you know, we weren't going to have the draft capital. And so we can't do that every year. We can't go out and get Ben Powers, Mike McGlinchey, Zach Allen. So this was part of the plan, part of the process.
We've got a lot of diehard Bronco fans watching this pregame show, and a lot of fans in general. But what can you promise to Broncos country right here before the ball is kicked off in the 2023 season?
These guys are going to be they're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to be highly competitive. It's going to be fun to watch, you know, offensively, defensively. All 3 phases are going to be very disciplined, and just look forward to it. And they're going to, you know, play in the mold of their head coach and all the coaches. So it's going to be fun.
Well, George, we're so lucky to have had you on here. Yeah. I hope you have the most fun time tonight and enjoy football. Thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it.
We really appreciate your
Thanks
time.
a lot,
George.
All right, Mike.
Get your time machines ready, because you're heading back to 2017. We hear from former Bronco head coach and the new defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, as he's having the time of his life. That's next on Broncos Tonight.
Will help us win mid-season too late.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Mike. Good seeing you.
Appreciate it.
You know, Mike, I think if Vance Joseph ever says that he's done with football, he could make a killing reading audiobooks. My goodness, he's got the most beautiful low voice.
He does. I didn't, but, you know, Drew Sanders, Marvin Mims, we haven't had a chance to talk too much about the rookies.
What have we been doing, Mike?
That's what these preseason games are for, and for Broncos country, first chance to see Marvin Mims. Knock a ball.
Absolutely, and we're seeing the Broncos get on to the field. It's starting to get loud in here. Mike, before we end this show, biggest takeaway, biggest final thought for the game coming up tonight?
Want to see Russ play well. That's it.
Easy peasy, just like that, Mike. I think a whole lot of Bronco fans want to see that too. A team that's looking for a new peak. It starts right here in the Valley of the Sun. The Sean Payton Denver Broncos era is moments away. He's Mike Bliss. I'm Scotty Gange. You can catch the entire game right here on 9 News.